Good morning, friends. So today we are here with a new topic. Today's topic is Section 17 of CGST Act 2017. I particularly believe this is very interesting topic, friends, because in the entire act, in some of the sections there are some complicated calculation, and one such complicated calculation is in Section 17. Not one, more than one such calculations are in Section 17. Like reversal of credit, like common credit to be apportioned, the manner of apportionment of common credit, the manner of apportionment of credit in case of capital goods, and all such discussions. In our today's discussion, we will basically focus on four important points. The first point is Section 17(1), where we will discuss the use of ITC. The use of ITC, where the ITC is partly used for the purpose of business and partly used for the purpose of non-business purposes. Section 17(2), where the ITC which is used both for the purpose of taxable goods as well as exempt goods. Yes, friends. Also we will discuss Section 17(3), that is discussion on value of exempt supply. This is very important. But the focus of this video is basically in Rule 42. Rule 42, that is manner of determination of ITC in respect of input and input services and reversal thereof. So why Section 17? Before that, just to let you know, this particular video is divided into few parts. In today's part we are not touching this Section 17 subsection 5, which is blocked credit. We are also not discussing second part of Rule 42, that is reversal of credit in case of real estate inputs, right? So starting with Section 17 subsection 1 speaks where the goods or services or both, where the goods or services or both are used by the registered person partly for the purpose of business and partly for the non-business purposes, the amount of credit shall be restricted to so much of the input which is attributable to business purpose. Friends, now, so Section 17(1) is very clear about it. So for to summarize this particular section, I have made this diagram. You can see in this particular diagram, for the business purpose ITC will be available, and for the non-business purpose ITC will not be available. So this is very simple. Moving ahead to Section 17 subsection 2. Now what is Section 17 subsection 2? Section 17 subsection 2 is basically a differentiation between ITC used for the purpose of taxable goods or services and for the purpose of exempt goods or services. Now, yes, let us see the bifurcation that is given in Section 17 subsection 2 is being explained by this particular diagram. Just see, use of ITC partly for taxable supplies and partly for zero rated supplies. Now, as we discussed, this particular ITC will be allowed if ITC is being used for all these three purposes, then ITC shall not be available. Section 17 subsection 3. Section 17 subsection 3, it reads as the value of exempt supply under subsection 2 shall be such as may be prescribed and shall include supplies on which the recipient is liable to pay tax on reverse charge basis. Transaction in securities, sale of land subject to clause B of paragraph 5 of schedule 2, sale of building. Now in Section 17 subsection 3, that is exempt supply also includes reverse charge, also includes supplies on which reverse charge has been paid. Now this was all about Section 17 1, 2 and 3. Now the basic reason behind discussing Section 17 1, 2 and 3 is to understand the manner of determination of ITC in respect of input and input services and reversal thereof. Rule 42 talks about the manner in which ITC should be claimed or reversed. Now, to understand this particular rule, we need to concentrate on this particular slide. Friends, please be with me for another 5 minutes. I assure you, Rule 42 will be on your fingertips and reversal of common ITC will no more a burden for us. So friends, now what we need to see is what is the total input tax credit in input or input services. First of all, we need to see for that particular tax period what is the total amount of ITC involved, and we will denote it with T. So what is T? T is the total amount of tax that is involved for goods or services, for input or input services, right? Now moving ahead, we are done with T. Now input that is involved exclusively for the purpose of non-business. Input that is involved exclusively for the purpose of non-business. Now that particular input will be denoted by T1, right friends? That will be denoted by T1. Now in tax involved on input or input services exclusively used for the purpose of providing of exempt supplies, this particular will be denoted by T2. So friends, now ITC which is blocked under section 17 subsection 5, we will denote that particular ITC as T3. So what we are seeing out here is our prime purpose is to arrive at the common credit, and in that particular process what we are doing is we are deducting this ITC which is used exclusively for the business, for the non-business purpose, exclusively for exempt supplies, and blocked credit from the total ITC which is available, right? So T minus T1, T2, T3 gives you C1. Now after this C1, what we need to do is we need to see, is there any credit which is exclusively used for the purpose of providing taxable supplies including zero rated supplies. Yes friends, after arriving at C1, we will deduct the ITC which is used exclusively for providing taxable services including zero rated supply. Now see, after C1 minus T4, what we get is C2. Friends, this is common credit. This is common credit, and we need to bifurcate this common credit in credit which is available for the purpose of business, credit which is for the purpose of exempt supplies, and credit which is used for non-business purpose. Friends, again to understand this particular formula and to summarize this particular formula, we will quickly try to see what we have done. We have, first of all, we have taken the entire credit which is available, that is T. We have subtracted the amount of ITC which is being used exclusively for non-business purpose, that is T1. We have deducted ITC which is used exclusively for exempt supplies, T2. We have deducted ITC which is blocked under section 17 subsection 5, T3, and we have arrived at C1. After we have arrived at C1, we have deducted ITC which is used exclusively for the purpose of taxable supplies. Yes friend, taxable supplies including zero rated supplies. And what we get is C2. This is common credit, friends. This is common credits. And now in the coming slide we will see how to bifurcate and determine the amount of ITC that is available and the amount of ITC which is liable to be reversed. Right friends? Let us term eligible credit as C3. Eligible credit as C3. Now how to get this eligible credit. The formula to get this eligible credit is very simple. Eligible credit equals to common credit, that is C2, friends, common credit, that is C2 minus bracket open sum of D1 and D2. Sum of D1 and D2. Now the question is, what is D1 and D2? Very simple, friends. D1 can be worked out as C2. When I say C2, we are talking about common credit, that is C2 common credit into exempt turnover divided by total turnover. Friends, you don't need to worry. In the next slide we will take an example with figures so that this particular formula will be very easy for you to understand, right friends? So for the time being, please try to understand. Common credit minus sum of D1 and D2 will give you C3, that is eligible credit. By this you will get D1, right? Now what is D2? D2 is the ITC which will be apportioned for the purpose of non-business purposes, and for which in this particular rule a rate has been fixed, that is 5% of common credit. 5% of common credit, right friends? So what we can see out here is, out of the common credit, what we are deducting. Out of the common credit we have deducted the apportionment of ITC for the purpose of exempt supplies and 5% of the ITC for the purpose of non-business, right friends? So after deducting D1 and sum of D1 and D2 from common credit, you get is C3, that is eligible credit, friends. That is eligible credit. This is the credit out of the common credit which is allowed to you, and D1 and D2 is the credit which needs to be reversed. D1 and D2 is the credit which needs to be reversed. So friends, what is the total credit that you are getting out here is C3, and let us go into the previous slide. See, what was T4? T4 was exclusively for the purpose of providing taxable services including zero rated supply. So this particular ITC is also available to us, and along with this C3 is also available to us, right friends? Apart from this, what is the amount that needs to be reversed is sum of D1 and D2, right friends? So let us discuss a small example so that this particular rule will be easy to understand, will be very easy for you to understand, and will also be on your fingertips, right friends? So in this example, the total ITC for the tax period 1 lakh rupees. So what is T? T is 1 lakh rupees, friend. T is 1 lakh rupees. This is the entire ITC for that particular tax period, right friends? Moving ahead, try to recall the previous slide and try to understand what was T1. Friends, T1 was ITC which was exclusively used for non-business purpose. So in this particular example, the ITC which is used for non-business purpose is 10,000 rupees. So what we need to do is, we need to deduct this particular 10,000 from T, right? Now, T2, what was T2 in the previous slide? It was ITC which was exclusively used for providing exempt supplies, friend. And in this particular example, it is 10,000, right? So we have T, T1, T2. Now let's see T3. What was T3? T3 was ineligible ITC or blocked credit as per section 17 subsection 5, right friend, which is 5,000 out here. So to get C1, the formula was, if you remember in the previous slide, the formula was C1 equals to T minus T1 minus T2 minus T3. So out here 1 lakh minus 10,000 and minus 5,000 is 75,000. So C1 is 75,000, friend. After C1, what we did, was we tried to figure out what is the ITC which was used exclusively for the purpose of providing taxable services and in zero rated supplies. In this particular case, the amount is 50,000 denoted as T4. T4 exclusively used for the purpose of taxable supplies and zero rated supplies. Now C1 minus T4 gives you the common credit, friends. So let us move to next slide and try to work out the amount of C3, that is common credit minus D1 minus D2, common credit minus sum of D1 and D2, right friends? So what is the amount of common credit that you have is 25,000 rupees. Now for this particular example, we have assumed exempt turnover as 25 lakhs and total turnover as 1 CR. So where this particular 25 lakh and 1 CR will help us? It will help us in working out D1. Friends, the formula for D1 was, if you remember, common credit into exempt turnover divided by total turnover. In this particular example, common credit was 25,000 into exempt turnover, that is 25 lakh, divided by total turnover, that is 1 crore. What you get is rupees 6250. 6250. Now we have D1, now we have C2, common credit. What we need is D2. What we need is D2. So let us figure out D2. Very simple, friends. D2 is 5% of the common credit. So what is common credit? 25,000, and 5% of 25,000 gives you 1250. 1250. So let us put this particular figures in example and get C3. So C3 is C2, that is 25,000 minus sum of D1 and D2, that is 6250 plus 1250. What you get? You get is 17,500. 17,500 is the amount of amount of credit which is attributable to taxable supplies, right friends? So in this particular example, what is the total eligible ITC? Again, if we recall previous slides, we can understand that the total eligible ITC is C3, that is 17,500 plus T4. Yes friend, T4. If I take you back to the previous slide, see, T4 was 50,000 rupees. So 17,500 and 50,000 rupees is 67,500 is the total eligible ITC which is available to you as per Rule 42. Friends, hope this particular example was clear and helped you to understand how to determine the ITC in respect of input and input services and reversal thereof. Friends, hope this particular presentation was helpful, and now it will be very easy for you to understand how to determine the input and input services and reversal thereof. In the next video, we will continue this topic, section 17, and we will try to explain you the concept of section 17 subsection 5 with few examples and with few interesting facts. Till then, thank you so much friend.